including yours.
We are one race, and that's the human race. And the only color President Trump sees is green.
Ching-ching.
And he wants you to have some of it. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. So get over it. Stop crying like a baby and a little bitch. You mad, that come off. That is him trying to tell you that Trump's a ball. He's a baller. A shot caller. I hope he builds that damn wall till he taller. Build that wall. Build it tall. Protect us all before this country falls. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Now you can go around acting like that Trump. Take a look in the mirror. You just got stormed. So you tell your fans to draw a line in the sand to make the truth between you and him like you the man. So let me tell you something that you really need to know. A lot of your fans work for Trump, so maybe you need to go. So tell the NFL they should stand up and still a kneeling on the flag trying to pull us up. And they can take a knee and kneel during halftime, but don't do it on our watch time or our time. It's sad that you had to use racism to make a connect, but with our rhyme, we're just keeping you in check.
Ooh, y'all.
Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president.
Hello, Diamond. Part 2.
Now we don't care if you black, white, or pinstripe. If you are a Republican or Democrat. If you are a liberal or conservative. If you are gay or straight. If you are an American citizen. In case you don't know. In case you forgot. In case you suffering from amnesia. Guess what? Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. So take a look around and what do you see? The same old bullshit staring back at you and me.
The Senate, the Congress, the Democrat side, some in the Republican camp, it's all the same guy.
To all the haters, the race baiters, the agitators, and the demonstrators.
Even the ones that want to leave cause they're really whack. Pack your coat, pack your hat, don't you come back.
And when the president decided to drain the swamp, to benefit people even if you're in a dump.
Lower taxes, more money, jobs from overseas, immigration enforcement, no more freebies.
Believe that and don't forget it.
Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's a baller, baby. He's your president. He's your president. And he's gonna win again. He's your president. He's your president. It's about time that you melted down snowflakes. Take a seat, listen up, sip it up with some taste. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president.
Because Trump is the man with the master plan, and all he wants to do is make America great again. Hey, Trump is your president. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. Because Trump is your president.
He's your president. And somebody need to let all of these folks know that Trump is your president. Yes, that's right, baby. He is your president. You can go to TrumpShowPresident.com. That's TrumpShowPresident.com. Go there, download the song, use it as a ringtone, add it to your playlist, do whatever you want to do with it. Because Trump is your president. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I'm just so excited, you all. Now, listen, welcome to the Diamond Silk Chit Chat Live Show. I'm your host, Silk, and you're my co-host, my Diamond Dream Team. And as Diamond would always say, it takes a team to build a dream. So I want you to stop what you're doing right now. Be sure to like and share this broadcast, this podcast. Share it everywhere and let them know that Silk is on the air. All right? Let them know that I'm on the air, okay? Tonight we're going to be talking to some January the 6ers who's been pardoned by President Donald J. Trump. This is J6 Freedom, you all. We're going to be talking to these individuals. So let the world know that I'm on the air with them, and they're going to be on to tell their side of the story, okay? All right. Listen, don't forget to download the Vocal app, the Lindell TV app. There's 2 different apps, and it's absolutely free. I want you to download these apps, you all. It's important, and it's imperative that you do so, okay? Download them, all right? That's what I want you all to do. Also, you all, shout out to everyone joining me there on all of the different chats. Yep, I see you all coming in there with the different chats. I see New York in the house. Yes, Illinois in the house. North Carolina is in the house. Alabama is in the house. Hey, baby. Hey, Texas is in the house. Yep. Hello, darling. Thank you all so much for being here in the chats. Yep. I want you all to chat with each other and chat about the subject, okay? I know some of y'all be going left wing and be putting all these doggone links in the chat, and we can't have that. We can't have it. The only link that goes in my chats is my chats, my links. That's it. Okay? The only links that goes into my chats is my links. All right? My moderator gonna get you. If he catch you and she catch you with all these doggone links everywhere, okay? New York City, I see you coming in, baby. I see you checking in with me. I see you checking in. Hey, baby. I see you coming on in. Hey, darling, Wisconsin in the house. Hey, Wisconsin. Yes. I see you all. Wow. Thank you. I love you all so much. Shout out to Lindell TV, RSBN Network, to Bless News Network, Diamond and Silk Media. Thank you so much for carrying the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live Show on your platform. I truly do appreciate it. I'm looking at my hair and it looks like it's up right here. I don't need my hair to be up. I don't want to be looking bad for the folks. Okay, I think I got it down. All right, I try to make sure it's shaped right and different stuff, okay? Okay, that'll do. All right. Y'all know I got to look cute. I got to look cute. Yes. Listen, you all, the show is sponsored by MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com, where you can get the MyPillow 2.0, the My Mattress Topper 2.0, the sheets, the slippers, the towels, the loungewear, and so much more right there at MyPillow.com. Be sure to use promo code Diamond or promo code Trump1, because Trump did win. Yes, he won now. He won this thing. Yeah. Don't forget about my coffee at mystore.com. I always say that the best part to waking up is not being woke, but being awake with my coffee. So don't be hasty. Go on over there and get you something tasty right there at mystore.com. Okay? That's what I want you all to do. Use promo code Diamond or promo code Trump1. The show is also sponsored by patchthat.com. Patchthat.com. This is the LifeWave patches. It's patented technology, you all, that reflects your own God-given energy back into your body. Yes, your body regenerator. Regenerate your body. Okay, that's what I want you all to do. No plugs, no sockets, and no machine is necessary. All you need is the patch. The only cure for healing the body is the body itself. All right. So give the body what it needs, and keep in mind that this is money back guaranteed. These patches are money back guaranteed. Okay. So that's patchthat.com. The show is also sponsored by DiamondSilkStore.com. Don't forget to go get the Diamond Silk Bobblehead memorabilia. See them? Yeah. Get the Diamond Silk Bobblehead memorabilia. Bobble the Head memorabilia. Yes, yes, yes. Get them. I give it to you for 50% off. You are at checkout. All right. Go and get it. Get the trampoline pins. Y'all see the trampoline pin? It says it's hanging sideways. It need to be straight up, but sometimes it just keeps swooping back down and hanging straight up. But whichever way it's hanging, I want you to go and get it. Don't forget the Diamond and Silk signature pin as well. All right. All right. DiamondSilkStore.com. And while you're there, you'll see a button that say Dr. Artist. Y'all see a button say Dr. Artist. I want you to click on Dr. Artist, and this is the stuff that I want you to purchase. You can purchase whatever you want to off his site, but this is what I recommend: the Biodefense, the Foreign Protein, and the EDTA. Yep. And while you're there, get the empty capsules too, so you can put that liquid inside of the empty capsules. It's easier to swallow. Okay. And also you'll see a button that says Dr. Stella. Yep. Y'all see a button that says Dr. Stella. Click on Dr. Stella. If you are in need of ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, you all go right there to Dr. Stella to purchase that. Okay. Thank you. Special thank you to the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live monthly contributors, to everyone who's mailed in a contribution, mailed in your beautiful cards, your beautiful letters and notes. I want to say thank you so very, very much. I truly do appreciate it. And if you would like to make a one-time contribution or become a monthly contributor, you can go to supportdiamondandsilk.com. That's supportdiamondandsilk.com. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, send them to diamondandsilk@gmail.com. All right? diamondandsilk@gmail.com. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead on and get on into this, you all, because I want to make sure I have plenty of time for the my guests. Okay, all right. I'm assuming that they're ready to go, you all. All right, and we're going to be talking to some J6 individuals, and we label them J6, and that's how we know what we know them by. All right. But these are the individuals that has been pardoned by President Donald J. Trump, and I afford them and allow them the opportunity to come onto this platform so they can tell their side of the story. All right. We're not going to leave American citizens, true American patriots, behind. No. They get to tell their side of the story as well. So first up, please welcome to the show, you all, Trennis Evans. I hope I said that right. Did I say your name right, darling?
You did. That's great. I appreciate that.
Wonderful. I'm so keen on saying everybody's name right. You know, because when people look at my name, my government name, when they look at it, the first thing they call me is Henrietta, and I don't even answer. They be like, Henrietta. And I'm like, just looking at them because my name ain't Henrietta. But anywho, all right, Trennis, let's get on into this. Let the audience know what happened to you. Did you go to jail? Did you take a plea, or did you go to court? What happened?
Yeah, so I had the 1512 obstruction charge, the one that was shot down by the Supreme Court, and the 4 misdemeanors. The evidence showed, the videos showed that I was helping police that day. They were shaking hands with me. They were patting me on the back, thanking me. And when I say helping them, I was just urging people to be peaceful, not destroy any property. But yet, I still had to go to federal prison somehow. I went for one of the shortest prison sentences, so I don't usually spend a lot of time whining about my situation because so many people were treated so much worse. And I think that's just horrible. These guys, you're going to have some guys on, I heard tonight, Richard Big O Barnett and some others, people that were detained pre-trial, and they were held there for 4 years. But, you know, so we founded a legal advocacy and started representing these people, helping dozens upon dozens in the beginning, and ended up being hundreds of J6ers by the time it was over. And I actually have had the luxury of speaking to 700 of these patriots, over 700 of these people over time, for one reason or another, or their family members, as they were calling and reaching out to Condemned USA for help. So there was a very hard and heartfelt road for me and the team at Condemned USA, such a great team of people, John Mosley, and, you know, has been there every step of the way, and Amy and so many others. But I think it's been hard in the sense that people don't understand the trauma that goes on that's associated with this, what they do to your life, what they do to your business, what they do to your livelihood. It wasn't about the time in prison. It wasn't for me, right? Other people, I can only imagine being there 4 years, right? But for me, and I think a lot of J6ers would resonate with this would resonate with them. When you are labeled an insurrectionist, I lost 40% of my business overnight. My kids, friends that were here at our home, even the ones that were staunch Trump supporters and didn't think we did anything wrong or didn't think I did anything wrong, my choice to be
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Interestingly enough, I mean, you've got to consider that oftentimes people are not going to feel comfortable with their child going somewhere where the FBI is showing up with an armed SWAT team with 20 plus people raiding your home and putting kids at gunpoint. They saw those videos and they went, man, not my kid. And I have to admit, as a parent, I may have felt a lot the same. So we were a central hub for all these kids, and then suddenly we weren't. And it was just
Wow.
terrible for us. I was a
Are you
volunteer
still?
golf coach at the school.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was a volunteer golf coach at the school. I was highly involved in our community, and all of a sudden, everything came to a crashing halt, screeching halt. It was terrible. And for that, I mean, we lost, I had a very significant business to at least to us, and that business just dwindled. I mean, we were doing, significant, we do about 20% of what we used to do. And it's
Wow. Are
all
you?
because they labeled me as an insurrectionist.
Yeah, I was about to say, did they label you also as a domestic terrorist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got labeled as a domestic terrorist, walking around with a megaphone saying, don't harm the police, don't damage the building. That's the new definition of a domestic terrorist for a Democrat. But, Silk, I recently posted something on X. That's a story that I haven't really shared outside of my book. And I went into
Mhm.
detail about this and tagged Cash Patel and others. And it saw, I don't know, it was like 6,000 reposts and, had 250,000 views in like 2 days and 24 hours, I should say. I really talked about this. I hadn't really gone into detail about it on a show, but the FBI came to me in March of 2023. Now, remember, I was arrested March 20 of 21, right? March 4th,
Okay.
2021. And the FBI, I went to go pick up my property. That's all. I wanted to go pick up my property. I finally had been finished my prison term. I was on supervised release. My probation officer said, yeah, I'll recommend that you get your property back. The court didn't have an objection to me having my laptops and phones and all the things they took from me, myself, my wife, my children, etc. And when I went to the building, I thought I was just going to meet this property agent. He was going to, sign a form and get my stuff back. And he walked me after a short conversation, he ends up walking me back into the building. His name was Agent Lucas, by the way. He walks me
Mhm.
back into the building. He sits me down in a room and he tells me starts offering me first that I should come to work for them. And all I could think of is why? Like, I'm not involved in cartels, drug smuggling. Like, I don't know those kind of people. I'm not involved in anything. Like, why would you want me to come to work for you? And then it dawned on me the only thing they could possibly want was the privileged communications that we had between legal counsel and defendants, where I was working on all of those cases, Proud Boys,
Right.
Oath Keepers, and many others that we had worked on. And then many names that most people will never know, but some of the 1,600 people that had their lives tragically destroyed over this, if they lived through it. Let's not forget the many fallen. Through that
Yes.
process, after I started to refuse and tell him, look, I can't do this even if I wanted to, I was looking for a way out. I don't want the FBI mad at me all over again, right? I mean, I just went through, at that point, 2 years of hell with these people. And he kept offering, and then he offered me $30,000 a month payments. And then after $30,000 a month's a lot of money. And
Mhm.
he offered these kinds of payments if I would come help them and come work for them. I told him, look, even if I wanted to, my court order says I can't make deals with the FBI or law enforcement or anyone else. I don't want to. I'm not interested. I really thank you. I appreciate the offer. Thanks so much. Can I just have my stuff and go? And where did we
Right.
get to? We got to the stick part of the conversation. We left the carrot and went right into the stick. At the part where we got into the stick is where he started talking about, I can go down and knock on an AUSA's door, assistant United States attorney. I'm the kind of guy that will knock on their door and I can be in your corner or not. And then he holds up his hand, the back of his hand, and he says, you need to read between the lines and
Oh,
understand the
wow.
position you're in and what I can do for you or what I can't do for you. And I live with that threat. As a matter of fact, there's been a lot
Yeah.
of talk about these corrupt judges lately. That's a big topic. Well, we reported this incident to United States Probation. We reported this incident. I called my attorney immediately afterward and told him, he was like, holy crap, I can't believe this just happened. We reported the incident to United States Probation, documented that reporting of that, so that I was in compliance with probation, that I'd had contact with law enforcement. Like if they pulled me over for a speeding ticket, I have to call probation. That's a standardized
Right.
process for someone on release, right? And just let them know that I had contact with law enforcement and what it was about. Even if it's pull you over and say, hey, your tail light's out, and give you a warning, I got a call. This guy told me specifically not to tell probation, not to tell the federal court, Judge Dabney Friedrich, another one of these corrupt leftist hacks, activists under the robes, told me not to tell that person and not to tell my attorney specifically, and that I should come to work for them. That's a violation of the court order. You asked me to break a law, and I could have been charged with more crimes, undone my plea deal. I could have been right back live in front of that judge, getting hammered and going to prison, being held without bond for violating her orders, et cetera, et cetera. And yet they didn't care. I've reported this in a massive civil suit to the FBI. I have sworn affidavits to this. We have the call logs. We have communications. We have the video and audio evidence of this. The Department of Justice needs to bring to justice people like Agent Lucas. I've heard Kash Patel make these claims. I believe Kash Patel in his heart intends to do these things, but I'm telling him, here's an easy place to start where it's all on video and it's all on audio. And all you have to do is look and see what happened on that day. When I went to the FBI office to pick up my property, they took me back in, led me through security areas where they had to scan their card, wave at a camera, and get access. And here I am sitting here today telling this story. I wrote it and told it in my book. And my attorney said, he goes, I'll give you one thing. He said, it's called, call it Insurrection Comrade.
Okay.
Because only a communist would call that an insurrection.
Wow.
So you cannot make it make sense that the most armed populace on the face of the planet, per capita or anywhere else, any other way you want to look at it, the American people are the most armed populace on the face of the planet. You can't make it make sense that we came to the seat of government of the greatest military industrial complex to live on this globe, and we brought our plastic flagpoles and megaphones and not our rifles for an insurrection. It's the stupidest statement. And the people that say it, I can't even fathom what goes through their head when they reiterate this brainwashing that took place for them. Yes, there was a protest. Yes, the police did things. Yes, there was responses. Yes, there was even things that you could call riotous components. I'm not denying that. But it was sure as hell wasn't an insurrection. And it sure as hell, no officers were killed. We all know that. We killed 4 citizens that day. Ashley Babbitt, all right, was shot, by Lieutenant Michael Leroy Byrd. And then we had Roseanne Boylan was beaten by Lila Morris. And then you have Kevin Greason and Benjamin Phillips, who died out on the grounds. One was reported to do with the flashbang grenades. I can't say with certainty what killed those 2 individuals. But what I can say is it's no evidence. You can absolutely see that it's beyond reproach that what happened with Roseanne Boylan and Ashley Babbitt, had that have been some other situation, the city would be on burning, that things would be on fire, and these radical leftists would have been rabid in the streets doing their nonsense, forming up more places like Chaz or CHOP, and here we would be plunged in a nation in chaos and turmoil. But demonstrators, like people that walked in and prayed in that building, had their lives destroyed as insurrectionists. They were falsely labeled with an insurrectionist narrative to get Donald Trump, our president, by the way, as you said in your intro there. Donald Trump is our president. Matter of fact, I know how I'm certain he's our president because I've got a pardon from that man right there, from Donald Trump. Wow. And I'm looking forward to getting that signed by him. But I will say this. He corrected the injustice that took place after January 6th. The massive injustice that took place after January 6th was corrected by Donald Trump. And I would personally thank Donald Trump. And I know that many January 6th defendants look forward to the opportunity to thank him for giving
Yeah.
us that opportunity to restore our liberties, get us out from under the thumb of this corrupt government regime and this tyrannical machine that operates Marxist ideology under the robes as activists that don't have any interest in the American Constitution, the United States, Western culture, or our way of life as a people here. They
Yeah.
intend to change it and fundamentally change it. This is what Obama said, and here we are today, living
Yeah.
those changes, just as they promised.
Exactly. You know, especially after the pardon, I got one more minute with you, especially after the pardon of individuals, restoring their liberties, restoring them is where we're at right now. Because, like you said, a lot of people, they're unable to find a job because of these labels that's been placed on them by the Biden regime. It is so disturbing. Now, if President Trump was sitting here today, what would you say to him?
First, there's 14 people that have clemency, and there's a number of people still in jail. Elias Castellanos is still in jail. Daniel Wilson has been ordered by Judge Friedrich, ironically, my judge, to report back to prison on April 2nd. Benjamin Martin's still hanging in the balance, as are many others. There's a gentleman that he's sitting in prison right now down in Alabama on some false nonsense, and they said because of his J6 charges, he's not eligible for bond, which is a very bondable offense,
Oh,
even if it's
wow.
true, but he's not getting a fair shake. These cases are going on, and people think that this fight has ended. People have come to the misinterpretation of the position that we're in now, that believe that this is all over. And you have these people sitting in prison, and they need to be restored. And Donald Trump has the ability to do that. And I'm very grateful for what he's done, but I would ask, please consider these other people. Condemned USA is representing a number of these people. These is our legal advocacy. It was built by J6ers from the ground up, and we have started responding to many other injustices around the nation. I think you'd see I'm on Bannon regularly talking about these injustices and what were the other cases that we've started taking on. And we intend to address prison reform. And we intend to address probably the tens of thousands of pardons that should be instantly entered by Donald Trump, by President Donald Trump, our president, America's president, the greatest president of our lifetime, maybe arguably the greatest president since George Washington. At any rate, the point being is this: these people are still suffering. American citizens are still suffering. Stuart Rhodes is working with the organization, fantastic individual, founder of the Oath Keepers. We have, a number of the Proud Boys, because we don't ostracize our people because they're part of a group that said they will uphold the oath of the United States Constitution that they took when they signed an ultimate check to the military and law enforcement. We don't ostracize those kind of people. And we know what really happened. And we know President Trump, sir, you know the evils of this government. You know the Jack Smiths. You know the Jocelyn Valentines. You know this Department of Justice. You know this FBI. You know what parallel construction is, Five Eyes. You know what the satellite usages are in violation of the FISA court laws. And we know who Judge Boasberg and these other people are. And when they came for President Trump, we, at this time, were just part of the cannon fodder, right? And that's okay. Wow. If that's what it takes, if I have to be part of that fodder to stand up and give my children a nation that their expectation should be to be able to live under our constitutional laws, our rights, our authorities, God-given, right? If we have those opportunities, but President Trump can restore those liberties with the stroke of a pen. And I do urge him to consider that there's many people that are damaged in so many ways that what they did is they came to demonstrate, and if they were treated like other demonstrators, they probably would have had plazas named after them and had signs all over roads, and that would have been the difference, because the woke joke that pulled this nonsense on the American public and the select committee that fraudulently altered timestamps, data, and individual people like James Goldson, the ABC producer that came in and produced this made-for-TV miniseries that was run by those corrupt people like Benny Thompson under the guidance of individuals like Nancy Pelosi. We, the people, deserve better. And I asked President Trump to consider restoring people in the name of financial restoration, because the damages that have been done to their lives. These were hardworking, tax-paying Americans in so many cases. They've lost their homes, they've lost their vehicles, they got out of prison. It's on, they've got nothing left. And the idea that we have the ability to fix this, and we have not yet done it, then let this suffering end. It went on 4 years already for so many people. 4 years was far too long. That weaponized Biden administration and that dirty ilk that those people took on to destroy this nation from within. Donald Trump, President Donald J. Trump, the greatest president of our time, possibly the greatest president in living history, has the ability with the stroke of a pen, direct his people, restore
Yeah.
these people for what has been done to them, and give them that opportunity. And I urge people to consider, you have Peter Tickton and you have Mark McCloskey, massive civil suits going on right now. You can sign up with those folks. I've signed up with them. Sidney Powell, Peter Tickton, Mark McCloskey.
Yeah.
There's all a massive group there. We're taking on these J6ers, welcoming them in, and we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward as a nation together. We're going to make a better country than it's ever been, and we're going to make this great again, not only for us, but we're going to make it great again for everybody, even the people that oppose us. They're going to realize that it's working for them. It's better for them, and the children are going to get to live the lives that they should have the right to expect.
Amen to that. Trennis, I'm going to have you back on as time progresses, because I know things are going to unfold. And so I need to have you back. I need to have you back on a show without the segments, because it's a whole lot that we can talk about. What you were saying, just saying, is something I just said about 30 minutes ago on another show, about how these individuals are still suffering, especially mentally, because a lot of people, they've never been locked up before. They're 50, 60 years old and now have to start all over. It's a doggone disgrace. So I want to thank you so much, sir, for being on the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show and sharing your side of the story. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other great guests. I'm to thank you for opening your doors to the J6 community and opening your heart. I know you and Diamond did for us, and I thank you for that. You were always there from the very beginning, and that will never be forgotten, who the true and real people were. So, and please support it. Ask maybe your people would support us at Condemned USA, because we're fighting for the remaining J6ers, and we're fighting for the restorative rights. Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you. Condemn USA, Condemn USA. You all go there and support those individuals. Now up next, we have Mr. Bingo, Richard Burnett. Come on, whenever you're ready to bring him on, go ahead on and slide him right on in. Hello, Bingo.
Hey, it's a Big O. It's short for Big O Patriot. How you doing, Sil?
Listen, I'm doing good. My sister called you Bingo. She loved you. She absolutely loved you. Yes. Now, have you been locked up for 4 years? How long were you locked up for?
No, mine was a little bit different situation. I was originally, I want to get this part in. I originally made it back to Arkansas from the Capitol, knowing the FBI were looking for me already.
Okay.
And was in touch with law enforcement here, and went in front of a Western District judge here in Arkansas, who decided I was a pillar of my community and I should make bond. And so she granted me bond on a Friday afternoon, and by Saturday morning, overnight, illegally, Judge Beryl Howell reversed it. And when my wife showed up on that Saturday morning, which was somewhere around January the 9th or 10th, to take me home with an ankle bracelet, they threw me in a van, took me to a holding facility home, and Con-Aired me back to D.C. illegally. So I spent about 4.5 months in D.C. with a lot of the other gentlemen you have or will eventually have on your show, and was able to make I was after that, with all the arguments and everything, able to make bond, and I came home on an ankle bracelet under house arrest for about a year while I fought trial, back and forth in D.C. And then once I was found guilty by a kangaroo court of 12 liberals and an activist judge, then I was reintroduced to federal prison for another almost 2 years. So I've done a little bit over 2 years in prison, and the rest of it on an ankle bracelet under house arrest.
So whenever President Trump pardoned the J6ers, were you still locked up at that time?
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, when he was inaugurated on January the 20th, and later that afternoon signed the pardon paperwork, the prison I was at realized their liability, and they had me out before midnight. I think I walked out the door the same day, January 20th, at about 11:58.
Wow.
The unfortunate part is the federal prison is very corrupt and it's not consistent. So not only did many of the pardoned prisoners take longer to get out, we still have pardoned prisoners in prison right now that we're fighting to get out. And I don't know if there's just a disconnect, or obviously we still have some swamp DOJ and the FBI. We need a heavier investigation, because even in office and everybody trying to do what they can for us, there's some bad stuff still going on.
It's still
And I'll
going on.
elaborate
Yeah.
on that, or yeah, I could
Yeah.
elaborate on it. Follow me
Elaborate.
on
Look,
Twitter. I'm not. Follow me on
elaborate
X.
on
I'm
it.
not shy.
Elaborate on it. You got 2 minutes. Elaborate on it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, a lot of the AUSAs, the prosecutors that
Yes.
prosecuted us, especially a lead one named Michael Gordon, that was brought up as a specialist to admit and persecute myself and Jake Lang. Jake Angelini, who's known as the QAnon shaman. He's also the prosecutor that covered for Ray Epps and hid him away and made sure he only got probation or whatever. He brags on LinkedIn every day about how he prosecuted us and this, that, and the other. And he's still sitting down in his little comfy office. He should be fired and he probably should be in prison. We've also got FBI agents I'm very well aware of that are still employed, working everything they can do to make sure that some J6ers are still suffering. I'm just being really random here, but the BOP still has a pardon J6ers. As a matter of fact, I know there's at least 3: U.S. Marine Edward Kelly, Navy vet Taylor Toronto, and Elias Constains. I think Trent has earlier elaborated on one of them that was down in, I think, Alabama, that have complete pardons, but the DOJ has all kinds of little tricks to keep them in, totally against their constitutional rights.
Is it the
It's
federal
just crazy.
DOJ that? Is it the federal DOJ?
Yeah. This is all federal DOJ. It's people that, I know that President Trump, and by the way, thank you, President Trump, for giving us our pardons. But I think there's so much that he's not aware of.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in a position like that, you have advisors that some of them are not intentionally aren't advising you right. We still have swamp within the Republican Party. J6ers learned about that at CPAC. When they tried to cancel our credentials for no reason. So
Yes.
basically, with all the good of being out, it's like, there's no restitution. We're working on trying to find homeless J6ers places to stay. Jenny Cudd down at j6roadhome.com. She's opened her ranch. We're building basically tiny homes down there for J6ers and trying to find them job. Adam Villarreal, you had him on, the other girlfriend Beth, the one that went on a run. What a story, huh? Went on a run
what
for
a
4
story.
years. He was able with another J6er to connect with some investors, and of course they still need help, but they've opened up a 30-acre, 1,000-bed facility in Virginia right now to house homeless J6ers and also homeless vets. And I'm working with them on prison reform. There's a lot of corruption in prison.
Oh,
So there's
incredible.
tons going on. There's tons going on, but we're all trying to do it ourselves with no funding, no money. And so we're hoping, and we did hear a little conversation that Trump had with Greg Kelly today. I didn't hear the conversation myself, that he's aware of us and he knows we're suffering. I mean, it's kind of sad when you get released from prison and at least in there you had a meal. At least in there you had a meal, and now you're on the
Right.
streets. You've lost your home. You lost your job. You've lost your family. You're ostracized. I got to tell you something, though, Silk.
Come on, tell me.
I was blessed. I'm a 65-year-old man. I was built for times like these. They put me through hell. I never backed down. If you read my court transcript, you'd laugh. I have been a bull. And I was fortunate enough that, of course, even before I walked off the steps at J6, I already found my contracts for my businesses have been canceled. But as a hobby, I bought and sold old antique cars. So I was able to sell out my inventory. I'm broke now, but I was able to sell out my inventory and pay off my house and make sure my wife never hurt for anything the whole time I was in prison. I was just fortunate enough that, being older, I had a little bit put back. But even that's gone now. So, yeah, it's been a crazy road.
Well,
And then
you're breaking up a little bit, but I know that there's a lot of people that is doing what they can. I know I'm having some direct contact with some direct people. So when I hear these stories, that all I got to do is send a text. And so
Yeah.
it's good to know that President Trump is saying it out loud that he do know. And that's a very, very good thing, because the right people is getting it to him. But unfortunately, like you said, there's still swamp creatures still stuck there in the swamp, and they're trying to do everything that they can to subvert the pardons that President Trump did, and make you all lives a living hell. It's pretty much what
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
doing.
and,
Yeah.
and the tough
So
thing is, Silk, is as much as you hear me say, look, we need help, we need some financial support, we need this and we need that. More than anything, the most important thing is, what's all this to begin with? We went to D.C. because Trump invited us there to stand up for our country, and we stood and we still stand. And so
right.
if you were to go to my X account, which is at Big O Barnett, and looked at my pinned post and watched a video of me filming on the early morning of January 6th, that little child that walked past me and what I have to say, you'll understand exactly where I'm coming from. I'll do it all over again. I stand for my country and I stand for my Constitution. And I'm available anytime, anywhere to stand up for my country. And I don't regret anything I did. First off, I didn't do anything
Right.
wrong. I was railroaded,
Right.
but I went to
Right.
peacefully protest. And that was my
Right.
goal. We
Right.
can't help it that the Capitol
Okay.
Police and the
Big
Metro Police,
Big O. Oh,
decide
hold
to
on. I
attack
gotta ask you
us.
this question.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Nancy Pelosi's office? Because I'm telling
Okay,
you, my
so
sister was like, I
yeah,
love this
yeah.
guy. I love this guy. So let's talk about that real
Silk,
quick.
Silk, and what I'm going to do too after this show, guy, I
Yeah.
guess it's your producer's phone number, and I'm going to send you a video of me getting trampled into the building. But it's so
Okay.
crazy because when I showed up at the Capitol and we were all walking down there, apparently some people had gone ahead of us, and some of them were nefarious characters. We now know there's a bunch of undercover FBI. So I got to the west side of the building, just past the Peace Circle, and as everybody went to where the tunnel area is and gathered, it was a happy celebration. They were singing
Yeah.
and cheering and all kinds of stuff going on. And myself and the two gentlemen who were with me, we walked up on what I jokingly now refer to as the grassy knoll off to the left, where we could look down on that situation. And as soon as we got up there into our discussion, let's leave, let's go find our truck. It's been a long day, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, flashbangs started going off, tear gas. You heard the gunshot shots from the rubber bullets. Literally, the police just attacked this huge crowd, and we're standing above looking down at it. And we're just going odd. And so, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's when Benjamin Phillips and Kevin Greason passed away from heart attacks, just
Yeah.
from the pure volume of warfare. And those were our
Yeah.
first two losses that day. Most people don't know we lost 4 people that day. And so anyway, so when that happened, the two gentlemen who were with me, who were Marines, I'm going to throw this in really quick. The only reason we
Mm-hmm.
went to begin with, I wasn't going. I was busy. I wasn't going to D.C. And they begged me to go. They wanted to see Trump. And I said, I'll go under one condition. I said, let's go a day early. And that evening of the 5th, let's walk through the districts where there's hotels and restaurants, and let's escort people that need protection. Let's be the
Right.
sheepdogs, and let's escort them and protect them from Antifa and the Roe BLM and all those. Because the bottom line is, for a whole year, we watched them burn our country down, drag people out of their cars, and I used to scream at the TV, run them over, run them over. And I
Uh-huh.
realized everybody liked me. So I agreed to take these guys and pay everything if they would go a night early so we could protect the people. And that's why we really went to begin with. So anyway, the
Okay.
next day we get there. So I'm jumping ahead now. We get there on the west side. All of a sudden, warfare breaks out. They're attacking us. And this whole line of stormtroopers, all geared up in black, run past me. I'm so mad at what I'm seeing. And I'm PTSDing. I'm having oh man, it just flared me. So I'm running beside them with my camera up, filming them, screaming, what are you doing? We're patriots. Why are you attacking us? We didn't do anything. And in the
Right.
process, I got lost. I lost my two guys. So we had an agreement to wave flags and try to find each other. But hell, there's a million people in D.C. at that point, and you can't.
Yeah.
So I went around to the front side and I left that side. I got to tell this part, 'cause I left that side. It was like World War III. It was horrible. I get to the
Uh-huh.
other side eventually. Trying to find my people. And on the other side, that's why people don't understand what really happened that day. On the other side, it was like Woodstock. Cops were hugging people indoors, letting people in. It
Right.
was a celebration. There's people dancing on roofs of cars. It was like one side was World War III and the other, and people don't understand that. They see the videos, and of course, fake media picks and chooses what they want to show. But one side was a war and the other side was a celebration. So it's obvious it wasn't everybody there that was nefarious as far as the Capitol Police and the Metro Police and Nancy's, Gestapo. So a lot of the police, even later on, have told me. I've talked to some Capitol Police since then, by the way, had good conversations
Mhm.
with them. And they're telling me we're set up too. And so we're going to explore those, by the way. Maybe I'll come back on one day with one of my Capitol Police officers and we'll talk about that. But
Okay.
anyway, so I get to the peaceful side. And I can't find my buddies. Well, in the middle is the main steps on the east, going up to the big doors. These are 20,000-pound doors that open outwardly, and you have to push a button on the inside for them to open. Big, huge
Open
locks
up.
on them. So I
Yeah.
make it up to the top, and I'm videoing while I'm looking for my friends to wave their flags. They're big old Marines, 6'5", all that kind of stuff. And I had them with me because we were protecting people the night before, and we were escorting people, and they were requesting us. The word got out what we were doing. And so anyway, I'm looking for them. I'm thinking I'm never going to find these guys. And all of a sudden, I'm up towards the top, and all of a sudden I hear down at the bottom people screaming, "Push, push, push," which we've now identified some of them as being undercover FBI. They were causing this
Hmm.
mosh pit up the
They were
stairs.
pushing you
Well,
on up the stairs.
at the exact same time, there's a split video on the inside of a Capitol police officer and a guy in a mega hat pointing up at the control tower, and all of a sudden the doors open outwardly. We didn't push them in. They're huge. They've been locked. They open outwardly.
Yes.
When that happened, you can hear me on the video yelling, "We have to go in. We have no choice." Blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, I circle myself in the video. You see me get trampled into the buildings. That's how I ended up in the building. I got trampled in. And so apparently the judge by that decided that I
No,
planned the
no, no,
whole thing,
no,
and I
no, Bigo. No, Bigo. No. I just need to still know how you got into Nancy
Okay, so
Pelosi.
so I'm getting okay. Somebody once I'm in, they wouldn't let me out, so I went looking for a restroom. I had to go to the bathroom. The
Okay.
night before Mayor Bowser had taken all the porta potties out to screw us over. We had 1 million people and nowhere to go to the bathroom. The day before, we're holding up flags for women to pee behind, going in bushes. There was nowhere to go to the bathroom. Mayor Bowser shut all the porta potties down, hauled them out. So I had to go to the bathroom. So while I looked for a bathroom, the short story is because there's a lot of in between this. Story in the bathroom. I walked into this office. I'm looking at this beautiful painting of George Washington on the wall. There's a desk behind me. Two AP reporters walk in and say, "Do you know where you are?" And I said, "No, I don't." And they said, "Well, you're in Nancy Pelosi's office." I look down. There's this little plaque that says Nancy Pelosi on the desk, and there's some envelopes that hadn't been mailed out, and this, that, and the other. So I laughed and I said, "I cannot stand that."
Yeah.
BIT, anyway,
Uh-huh.
I can't stand that, blah, blah. So anyway, they laughed and they asked me my name and stuff. And I told them I wasn't even thinking nothing about it. Really, I got trampled into a building and other people were getting waved in and let in. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And so they said, "Hey, can we take your picture?" I said, "Sure." They go, "Well, make yourself comfortable." Well, just like I do at home, I sat down at my desk, at the people's
Yeah.
desk, at your
Yeah.
desk, and I threw my feet up and they started snapping pictures and the rest is history.
Oh my
So
God. Did
yeah.
you leave
So
her a
anyway, that
quarter?
cost me that. Okay, yeah, that's the other crazy thing. First off, I
Yeah.
didn't realize when I got trampled in, my hand got cut. I was bleeding. No, as a matter of fact, in that picture, the flag that's on the credenza behind me, that's my
Yeah.
flag. I want it back. The FBI says they lost it. They stole it from me. But that flag was given me by a state senator right here in Arkansas for all the good I was doing for my country in 2020. I was doing a lot here that people don't even know about in 2020.
Uh-huh.
I think that's why the FBI was watching me anyway. So basically, I bled over the flag and didn't even realize it. And I want my flag back, by the way, FBI. And I want my boots back. If they show up on eBay, I'm already suing. I'm probably going to try to pull a charge. I want my stuff back. But anyway, I'm
Yeah.
bold. I don't care. I want my stuff. So anyway, but long story short is, I realized I was bleeding. Well, there's an empty envelope there that had her little stamp on it. And it was addressed to Judge Billy. God, what's Billy's name? He's over in Missouri. He's a
Billy is
Republican. He
fine.
can't stand.
Okay,
Yeah,
Billy.
he can't stand there. So I pick up and I bleed on the envelope, right? I thought, well, I can't just leave this bloody envelope here. And so I actually pulled 27 cents out of my pocket. That's all I had. I flopped it on the desk, but 2 pennies hit the floor. So by the time I left a note on her desk that said, "Hey, Nancy, Big O is here, biatch." Which, I'm
Yeah.
just being honest about it. Hey, I was there letting you know it. And so when I finally got outside after having been maced and hit and beat and everything else trying to get
Yeah.
out of the place, and I can't even see. I'm half blind. My shirt's ripped open. You've probably seen some of the wild pictures on the internet of
Yeah.
me. My God, it was horrible. But anyway, by the time I got out there, some reporter shoved this camera in my face and tried to grab this envelope that I paid. I left the quarter on her desk, and he tried to claim that I stole it. So I grabbed the mic from him, and I simply explained that, hey, I did not steal this envelope. I'm not a thief. I left a quarter on her desk, even though I use that B word again, is not worth
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yes.
And so that's the short version of the whole story.
Okay.
Then I tried to
Okay.
stumble. I tried to stumble down the steps to go find my truck, and people are already walking towards me, yelling "Big O, Big O." Apparently, I was already viral before I got off the Capitol steps. So
Yeah. Yeah, we saw
Big-
everything. And we was like, what? Then when they said you left the quarter on the desk, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah.
And so, I mean, Diamond, she, like I said, she
I
absolutely
paid
loved you.
for
She
it. I'm
loved,
not a thief.
yeah, you
Yeah, I
paid
paid
for
for
the
that. I paid for
envelope.
that.
That's right.
Oh, here's what I didn't
Yeah.
know, though. Here's what I didn't know.
What you didn't
Silk,
know?
until we started investigating USAID or whatever it's called. Once we started investigating USAID, Trump started investigating that through Elon Musk and finding all the theft in the
USA,
government. We come to find out that she was paying $20 for those stupid envelopes. They shouldn't have cost but 10 cents. I thought I overpaid. But it turns out
So
because
that,
of government theft, she was paying $20 a piece for them. So apparently, I shorted her $19.75
no, they
to
owe
put
you
in
a
her own
refund.
pocket.
They owe you a
Yeah,
refund. 'Cause it was,
that's
but,
crazy, man.
but
They owe
about
me.
this,
Hey,
okay,
girl, they owe me a refund about a lot of things.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Due process
uh,
denied.
if President Donald J. Trump was sitting here right now, what would you say to him?
Multiple things. First off, thank you, sir. You kept your word. You pardoned us. We showed up for you, and you showed up for us, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, other than that, I want you, if you actually hear my words, to look into your advisors and the people you've appointed and make sure they're doing their job. Because it seems even today, when you spoke to Greg Kelly and didn't realize that the DOJ is still under your watch evidence on the lawsuit for Ashley Babbitt through her mom, who was murdered by Michael Byrd, the Capitol Police officer. We
Yeah.
just found out today. You didn't even know about it. We thought you knew about all this. So Roseanne Boland, Lila Morris, there's video. She's laying unconscious on the ground, and
Yes.
Lila Morris, the Capitol Police officer, beats her to death with a baton so violently that it flies out of her hand. And she gets rewarded. She gets Super Bowl tickets and gets some gravy job as the police chief at some university. There's so much stuff you don't know. If you want your information, call me. Call Trennis Evans. Call one of us. We'll fill you in. But you're not getting the good information. We've got you pardoned people that are still in prison. We've got J6ers out here living on the streets that actually had real valid lives before this happened. So we're just
Right.
asking you. We know you'll do the right thing. We pulled you in to make. We the people mandated things for you to do, and we know there's this wild, squeaky, noisy left-wing craziness going on. We don't care about them. If this all works out, one day they're going to have a great country too, and think what a fool we are. Like a lot of them are already thinking on the backs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But the point is, talk to the people that have experienced it. Man, you guys like you guys want to know about prison reform and corruption in prison and lost money
Right.
and horrible things and multiple, not just J6ers, but prisoners are being kept in prison longer than they're supposed to because they're not enacting the First Step Act, which you enacted in your first term, and they're not even following the rules. I mean, it's unbelievable what us J6ers have learned. So use our knowledge, President Trump.
Yeah.
We're
You
here for
really need
you.
to just talk
Man,
directly.
we were here for you. We were here for you then, and we're here for you now, and you're here for us, and we're going to change this country. No matter who
Yes.
tries to stop us, we're not giving up. This is for our children. This is for our children's children. We love you. We know you love us. Let's
Yes.
get this information out, and let's
Let's
take care
get
of our
it.
people.
Yes,
let's
Big
get it.
O. Okay. Listen, darling, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. And if Diamond was here right now, she would be so tickled pink because she
I
absolutely
am so sorry.
loved
Being in
you.
prison.
Yeah.
Being in
Yeah.
prison, I didn't even realize that she had passed away. You
Yeah.
have my sympathies. What you two ladies
No
are
worries.
such great ladies. You're such great
Thank
patriots.
you.
And
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
for having me on your show. Thank you.
God bless you once again. God bless you. And I'll have you back. God bless you.
Okay.
Wow. You all, okay. It is what it is, you all. We got to pray for our January the 6th, the patriots that went there and utilized their First Amendment right, you all. They're still being railroaded right now. So it's good to know that President Trump did talk to Greg Kelly. I got to go look at that particular interview to see what was said. Now listen, continue to pray every day at 11:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stop what you're doing. I pray for you. You pray for me. We pray for each other. Pray for President Trump. Pray for this country and pray for God to heal the land. So in the meantime and in between time, I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Bye-bye.